Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Hill, your legacy builder at Winning Proof, and I am here today with Jay McGowen. He might sound familiar to you. He might look familiar to you, but I'm going to read his bio so you can get the full gist of who he is and what he's done, and then we'll jump right in. Jay McGowen is the CEO and founder of Global EnterTRAINment, a business growth strategies, training, development, personal coaching, and consulting company that services corporate clients worldwide with a unique mix of multi-platinum entertainment and world-class training. Jay is a highly sought-after speaker, trainer, author, and a Grammy-nominated recording artist with 4 multi-platinum albums. In addition to writing, producing, and performing music, Jay is an accomplished and award-winning corporate trainer and coach. For over 15 years, Jay served as a vital trainer, coach, and advisor to corporate executives, sales leaders, and top producing salespeople. After achieving record-breaking success in entertainment, sales, and marketing, Jay decided to bring the knowledge he's acquired as well as the energy of performing to the personal development and business growth arenas. In 2013, he created Global EnterTRAINment, a new cutting-edge training platform utilizing the groundbreaking science of learning through the use of audio and video production. Welcome, Jay. I'm glad to have you today.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be on your show here. I'm really excited about this.
Me too. And we had a conversation earlier in the week and just talked about what you do, how you help people, and just a little bit about your life. So, in spite of the bio I read, tell people a little bit about your success and a little bit about what those things are on the wall behind you.
Yeah. Okay. So again, my name is Jay McGowen, Jay the EnterTRAINer. My company is Global EnterTRAINment. And the plaques, I was in the music industry. And when I say I was in the music industry, I'm never out the music industry. I'm not currently making any records like I made back in the days, but I still record and I still license my records for movies, commercials. But anyway, so a lot of people know me from my records. You mentioned, some of my success, and I've sold 25 million records, and some of those records you may, people probably heard of. I think we started off with Whoop, There It Is. That was actually my first record that I wrote, produced, and I also sing and perform that record. So we did Whoop, There It Is, then we did Tootsie Roll, which was a big dance record for us, and then we went on to do a record called Come On and Ride the Train, which was another big record. And the best part of that record, probably one of the most memorable things about that record is I had a chance to go on Oprah and had Oprah doing this dance that we created called the Train. So, and then after that, we were blessed enough to be offered the opportunity to do the title track to the movie Space Jam. So my song is called Space Jam. It's the first song in the movie Space Jam, and I'm currently working on. We're actually finished now, but we've done Space Jam 2 with LeBron James, so we're excited about that too.
Wow, yeah, that has kept you busy for a few years.
Yes, yes, it has. It has.
Yes. So, how did you transition? You really haven't transitioned because you're still steeped in entertainment. But how did you transition from the entertainment to EnterTRAINment? How did that happen?
Yeah, probably early 2000s. The music industry for me, it was starting to, we had done a lot of things, and I'm always looking to transition and rebrand and go to the next level. And for me, that was, instead of performing and writing, which I'll always do, that was going into sales and marketing and really understanding sales, marketing, leadership. I study a lot of innovation, change management. So, going into those things, it was kind of natural. And as I got into those things, I used a lot of the same principles that I use that helped me become successful in the music industry, I use a lot of those same principles, and it served me very well in the sales and marketing and personal development game. It really did. And then I decided, to take both worlds and combine them, because I'm naturally, and normally I'll have music on and I'll be up dancing, but anyway, I love to entertain, I love to teach, I love to mentor. So I brought the two worlds together, and now when I go out to companies and when I go out and I do seminars and I do breakout sessions, it's really a party and a training, because I believe that training should be fun, should be entertaining. We remember, we learn, we retain things a lot better when we can, intertwine it with audio and visual. It's proven, it's science behind it, and I couldn't do it any other way. I don't know any other way to do it. When I'm training, I have to entertain, and and that's how the worlds came together. And now, so I still make records. They're just, it's motivational music is what I call it. So I still make records that serve the community that I'm actually in now, which is personal development. And it's fun. It's been a great ride, and I'm really just getting started. I've done numerous keynotes, and I've trained a bunch of different companies, but it's just getting started. People are loving it. People are walking away really entertained, and also they remember. A lot of the lessons are put in song, so it's just really a cool ride, and I'm excited about it. As you can tell, I can talk about it forever, and not just because it's something that I'm doing. It's just because I think that's a natural way to learn. It's how I learned the ABCs. They put it in a song, they put it in a melody, and guess what? Kids are learning it at 1 and 2 years old. They're learning the ABCs, and it's because it's put in a melody. So again, there's a lot of science behind it, but I'm super excited about this whole thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, me too. We originally connected via LinkedIn, and I think had seen each other's profiles,
Yes.
on and off through the years and stuff. So we recently really just connected. And it's been, Jay is one of those people that just exude excitement and, and enthusiasm, and you feel better after being in his presence, even if it's a Zoom presence. You feel more lifted up. So that's my takeaway.
Very kind of you to say that. Thank you.
Yes. So can you share maybe a success story of somebody that's attended your training and came back to you and said, man, that changed my life?
Yeah, I right before COVID, I guess this was probably August of 19, I did a keynote at a convention in San Diego. Mind you, this convention was for volume photographers. They are the people that take the school pictures, the sports pictures, the team pictures. And so when they first called me, I'm thinking, okay, I don't know a whole lot about volume photography, which I dove in and I do now, but I know a lot about just winning. So it was amazing, because when I went there, and all of my keynotes all of my trainings, I normally open them up with me doing a medley of my songs. I'm gonna sing Whoop, There It Is, Tootsie Roll, Come and Ride a Train. I just kind of do a real quick combination of the songs to get people fired up. And when I did that, I could look in the faces of everybody. They're like, whoa, this guy sings these songs. So that was kind of cool, but I'm thinking they probably thought that was probably gonna be it. This guy's gonna come up, he's gonna entertain, and that's gonna be it. And I think what they were surprised by, and by all the feedback that I received and all the testimonials I received, they were surprised at how I intertwined some of the stories into the leadership principles that that serve them. Because making records is a team effort. So you got to have it takes complete teamwork and collaboration. There's a lot of innovation that went into my records. There's a lot of change management. Oh my goodness. We went from analog to digital during the time I was making records. That was a huge change. So for record, that's like right now, there's no record stores. And that was a huge change from physical record stores to virtual. So that type, when I share my success stories, I intertwine them into what's happening today. And I think, a lot of people came up, I can't say one story, but multiple people came up and said, man, not only were the stories entertaining, and I didn't know that, because I talk about how I maneuvered and how I went about getting on Oprah. That wasn't a given. That was a lot of sales and marketing and maneuvering. And when I showed them how those principles could be used in their field, they were just floored by it. And plus it was a good story. So, I get numerous people call me up and say, man, your training was it was full of energy. Your stories were awesome. We never even knew that about these records. And I tell people, the gold, the nuggets are in the process. It's not in the end result, and I stress it all the time, so you can look at on my wall and this is just probably a third of them. It goes all the way around the room, but the stories and the leadership lessons of what it took and what we went through to get to these records and to get 25 million sales, there's so much value in that. And I think, and that's why I'm so excited about sharing that. So when I'm talking about these things, I'm not talking about these things, and it's not self-serving because I've been there, done that. Okay. I really want people to get the lessons in it because there's some real tough lessons in it. There's some blood, sweat, and tears in those, in those records on the wall. And it's not that, it's similar to what people are going through. And as they're trying to build their careers, as they're trying to maneuver and follow their passions and dreams, and some of those things, I think it's very helpful. And I love sharing those things with individuals. And I think and showing them how it works for what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's what we talked a little bit about earlier this week, was that people see the records on the wall, they see what you have accomplished, and they don't see the process, or like you said, the blood, sweat, and tears of what goes behind. Can you share a little bit about the struggles you had to go through in your life to get you to today, Friday, October 23rd?
Yeah, well, making it or breaking into the music industry, they all, I used to hear people say, you had a better chance of getting struck by lightning. It's really tough, but it's doable when you understand how to maneuver through it. So our first big record was Whoop, There It Is, but that was probably I probably done 500 records before that. And I've and put out probably, I don't know, 50 records we released before that record. So we went through a lot of going to radio stations, them saying, no, that record's not good. No, you hear no so much that it's like, and I always say no just means not yet for me. Just, you go back and you regroup and you figure it out and you go through different, they're just obstacles. And I believe that the obstacles are there to keep the people that really don't want it out. That's what the obstacles. They're not there for me. They're there for the people that really don't want it. So maneuvering through that, there was a lot of struggle, and and we kept going, and we kept reinventing ourselves. That was huge. Sometimes you're trying to break into this particular area, and it's not really that area that's the problem. Sometimes it's you and the way you're approaching it. And maybe something you've always done that you now have to realize that that's not going to work for this. So that's why I'm huge on rebranding and just reinventing. It's so much excitement in doing that, and it's pain in it too. But there's a lot of excitement in rebranding yourself and not being afraid to do it. A lot of people are so stuck on, well, this is who I am. This is how I've always done it. This is just me. Yeah. And And I'm talking when you have to really look inside. You know, I'm not talking about, it's easy to change things outside, but when you have to change things about you and, you know, sometimes we do. It's growth. It's just natural. You have to grow, you know. So I think there was a lot of adversity, a lot. But you know what? It was just part of the journey. I couldn't even be talking to you had it not been for the adversity, you know, that we went through to make those records. And it makes it all the better once you achieve it, because you know that, because I look at every record on my wall, I can look at, and there's a huge story behind it. I'm talking a huge story, and there's probably a lot more adversity than it is. I mean, triumph. Now, yeah, we did break through and sold millions of records, but boy, the punches and the things we went through to get to that. But then there's lessons in it. And that's what's great now. For me to go through those things and not be able to share them now, it would be all for what? You know, it would be, okay, I did it. But no, I love sharing those things and saying, listen, here's what happened. So there's people out there just listening right now that are trying to birth a business or trying to figure out things. And they're in that adversity stage. They're in that struggle stage. And I can tell you right now, you have to understand how to deal with it, because there wasn't a book. I didn't have a book for how to deal with those things. How do you deal with somebody, you know, you're putting your soul and your heart into a record and somebody's saying, that record sucks, that's not good, or that's not it, or no, we're not going to play that record, or no, that you're not prepared for that. And so I think some of the things that I share with clients is preparing them for that and getting them to understand that it's just part of the process. It's not personal at all. It's just part of the process. Because the same people that told me that my records weren't good were the same ones that later, when the record sold millions of records, said to me, I always knew you would make it and that record would make it. And I'm not joking. The same people. And I'm looking like, but I just keep it moving. I just keep it moving. But, you know, because it's not personal. You know, it's not personal. People give you their opinions based on where they are at that moment. If you ask me on a day that's a tough day for me and I'm just going through some things, and you ask me about one of your books, you might get a different opinion as on another day. You ask me on a different day, and now I give you a completely different opinion. So if you understand that, you know, you take things, and, you know, I believe in, you know, hearing it more than one time before I start to make a change. I gotta, you know, you gotta know. But that's all part of my coaching and how I help people.
Yeah, that's I would love to be in one of your, you know, talks sometime to hear you, but I think I will, because don't you have examples on your website, little speaking clips?
Yeah, I do. I have some, and actually I'm putting up more, and I'm starting to do a lot of webinars and a lot of web classes. I'm starting to do now because I absolutely love sharing that type of stuff. And again, there's a lot of lessons in it. And sometimes we just don't think about it that way. So I like sharing a different point of view of it.
Yeah, and don't you think sometimes it's like our biggest enemy is not even those people who are saying your song sucks, your book sucks, or whatever. It's I'd say the biggest enemy sometimes is the inner me. Absolutely. You know, is breaking through those blocks. So has that been a journey for you, or have you always just believed in yourself and had family surrounding you that believed in you? How did you break through the mental barriers?
You know, I think like anyone, the rejection early on took it kind of, it takes you back a little bit. But I think naturally, I am one that I really am not. I seek counsel, but I will move in my own direction. I do believe in seeking counsel. You have to, but you got to make the decision. Because if I did everything or took all the opinions of people, I would be all over the place. Those records wouldn't be on the wall, because there was people that said you shouldn't do it. There was people that said you should do it. I would be all over the place. I would never get anything done. But so again, I think I'm built that way. I really am. I know that opinions are just that, and that's great. And, I understand that's what it is. And some people are very, strong about their opinions, and you can't let that sway you either, because they feel very strongly about their opinion. So yeah, you just gotta know, and you just gotta have a certain belief system that says, I believe this, I believe this is it, and you got to trust who you're going and you're getting opinions from, but you ultimately have to make those decisions, and you have to believe in yourself and be willing to take the outcome. I'm willing to take, the outcome of whatever happened. If it doesn't happen, I'm good with that. If it does happen, then I'm good with that too.
Yeah, and I find myself too, speaking to your point, is that when one of my clients has their rough draft done and they want to get feedback from friends, I say, well, yes, constructive feedback is good. Don't give it to 20 people. Give it to 5 or less trusted people in your life. And, if they want to rewrite the whole thing, let them write their own book.
Yeah.
They're there to give you constructive feedback. And I'm guessing it's the same way when you're with your hit songs, like, oh no, change this word. Oh no, do this. Oh no, do this and do this. And like you said, it makes you all over the place. Constructive criticism is great. Directed constructive feedback, not even criticism, feedback.
And one of the things that I tell my clients is, with records, when we did our records, if I let my mom hear my record and I ask her what she thinks, she loves all of them. The worst ones she loved. So I learned very early on that when I tested went out to get feedback, I found it better to get it from people that had no vested interest at all in it. For me, it just helped. When I can find somebody that knows nothing about me, they could care less this way or that way. And I say, now here's a record I'm doing. You're a potential customer, my customer avatar, if you will. What do you think? That their feedback means a lot more to me than, because I sometimes you got to kind of figure out if somebody is saying that because of something else. Some people give you feedback and their opinions based on personal gain, and you have to be really careful with that one. They'll tell you they like something because they like you, and there's a different motive, or they'll tell you they don't like something because they're trying to steer you in a different direction that serves them and not you. So I find it very, if I'm going to test something, it's going to be on somebody that I have that could care less either way.
Yeah, and that's true. My daughter-in-law and me were telling my son how, he can talk to anybody, and he can, he doesn't have a charismatic personality, but he can talk to anybody. And he said to us on a call, he goes, well, you're my mom and my wife. You're always going to tell me the good stuff. And I said, yes, we will, but we'll also tell you when you're off course too. We have no problem because we know you the best. So
that's awesome.
That's
good
really
when you have people like yourselves. That's good, because you want people close in your circle, in your family. You want, because you're proud of it, and they're the first ones you run to. I just think you got to just know how to listen. The music industry has taught me how to deal with rejection on a whole nother level, because you deal with it. I was told by someone when I remember we did Tootsie Roll, which went on to sell 4 million records. And to this day, it goes viral. I can't tell you how many millions of views we still get right now on people using that song. And I remember the first person I let hear that record was a guy that worked at a radio station, somebody close, I knew him. And he said, that's the worst record. Who in the world would make a record about a candy, Tootsie Roll? Who would do that? That record would never, ever work. And, good thing I didn't listen to that, right?
Absolutely, yes. So how do you stay grounded and humble during the outcome? I know it's easier to stay grounded and humble during the process because you're going through it, you're in the trenches. When you are congratulated, when people come up and how do you stay grounded and humble in those moments?
Yeah, I think for me, and I was part of an organization. So when I say me, and when I'm talking about these records, remember, I said it was teamwork. So I'm not saying I'm the only one. I was an integral part of it, but I definitely wasn't the only one. And I'll say this, within our organization, I don't know, for me, it was never about, it was never about the fame for me. There's people that, in corporate America, I worked for different corporations, and this is no joke. There's people that I worked with for 4 and 5, 6 years that had no clue about what was on the wall. It just never came up. It just was one of those things where if it would have come up, I would have talked about it. It never presented itself. It just wasn't important. And the only reason why I use it now is because it's part of what I do. Because if it wasn't part of what I'm doing now, I wouldn't talk about it. Not because I'm not proud of it, because I am proud of it. But if it's not relevant to what I'm talking about, I don't feel the need to have to bring it up. I just don't. It took a while. I had an office at my job when I was working, and there was not one of these plaques in that office. I remember somebody said to me, you actually should put your plaques up. And at the very end, I remember putting the plaques up because I would bring some of the trainees in the office, and when I was making points, and I would show them, remember I told you about that? Well, here's that record. But so for me, it was never about the fame. And to this day, you sent me a message and said, hey, would you like to be on this deal with me? And for me, I didn't say, well, call my agent or call this. You know what? Absolutely. I love to talk. You want me to talk? Perfect. I love talking. But but there's not a lot of people that's had my success that you can reach out that easy and get a call back from them that quick. And that's just Jay. It's a blessing that I have these things, and I'm super proud of these things, but they're just a chapter in my book, and there's so much more to Jay than just that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And so to turn corners a little bit, and your EnterTRAINment company and what you do, if somebody, say an individual, I know you train within companies, but if somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm stuck, I don't know the next turn, I don't know what to do next, and they're just stuck, what would you tell them? How would you motivate them to move forward and to get unstuck?
Okay, well, first of all, I actually do work with a lot of individuals too, not just companies. And when, the first thing that normally and I get that call a lot. People come and say, Jay, I'm trying to find the motivation. I'm trying to find the time. I'm trying to find just something to drive me. And then some people feel that at the age they're at, that is just like, how do I do it now? I just feel like I don't have the time. And the first thing, that's a book that I'm working on called Rebrand New. That's a mindset thing. And that's the first thing that I work on with individuals is it's called the rewire part of my book, Rebrand New. There's a rewiring part. And that's the first thing you have to do. You have to rewire their circuits in there. You really do, because it's never too late, in my opinion, until the lights go out. And I mean, the ultimate light goes out. I don't think it's ever too late. I don't think there's an age limit on anything. I think everyone was born, and I think everyone's a star at something. That's one of the things I say all the time. Everyone's a star at something. Some people know what that is. Some people haven't figured it out yet, but everybody's a star. I don't have a monopoly on success. I don't have a monopoly on blessings. I think we're all equally built when it comes to that. Some people just have figured out a way to maneuver and navigate through some of the noise, because that's what it is, a lot of the noise. So one of the first things I do is the rewiring process and help people to quiet the noise, because with a lot of noise, you're not, it seems really bad. You know, it's like if I come to work, if I come in my office and I'm trying to work on something and I got my phone's ringing, somebody walks in my office trying to talk to me, I got this person calling, that to me is distractions and noise. Sometimes we have to quiet that noise, and people won't always be happy when you do that. But sometimes you have to be selfless and do that, because I don't think it's selfish, because you're not doing it to hurt anyone. You're doing it to try to help yourself. And anytime you do anything, in my opinion, to help yourself to be better, I don't see how that could ever be a selfish thing. I think it's selfless. You're just trying to be a better person. I can't help you because I'm wounded. I need to build myself up so I can serve you better. So I think that's a selfless thing. So that's the first thing. The first thing, and it is not a one thing. I can't just give you one thing, because it's actually a combination, but it is rewiring that thinking and being around somebody that can help you see the greatness in you and can really put some of the obstacles in perspective, because there are obstacles. I run into them all the time. But if I don't put that obstacle in the proper perspective, it becomes bigger than it really is. And it's like, well, that's a hurdle, but that's one we can go around. You can step right around that. I know it, you've made it a wall. And I'm telling you, it really is just a little step around. And that's just getting people to see that. So it's a mind, and that's the first chapter in my book, Rebrand New, is the rewiring process. You have to, because nothing in the book will even matter if I can't get you to rewire your thinking so you can accept what's you're about to learn in the book. So we got to first get that rewiring process done.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and that goes along with change your thoughts, change your life.
Absolutely.
That's it. So my last question is, how do you refresh? How do you unplug and refresh yourself? And how often do you do that?
You know, that's an awesome question, because I can get to the point where I work a lot, you know, but because I'm doing what I absolutely love to do, it's refreshing. It really is. When I talked to you for the first time the other day, that was the first time that I've ever in my entire life talked to Michelle. So guess what? That was a very refreshing conversation. I didn't know what I was going to hear. I didn't know much about you. I learned so many cool things. You told me a little bit about your story, which energized me. I was amazed by it. I got energy from that. So I know that is kind of a weird thing, but I'm telling you, because I absolutely love helping and coaching, and it energizes me. But when I shut all of that down, for me, spending time with my kids, anyone that knows me will tell you he loves spending time with those kids. And that would be my getaway, if you will, spending time with the kids, and, you know, and just watching them grow and watching them navigate this thing, and sitting back and letting them navigate it, you know, because they'll have to learn, and then watching them go through something and learn. So that's my real getaway is that. But the other getaway for me is meeting new people. And I you know, my mom said, man, you take on so many people's, I don't call them issues, their thing. And I'm like, but I love doing that, because I don't look at it like, if somebody came to me and said, man, my life is, in their opinion, my life is all kind of, you know, all over the place. Well, I can manage that. Their life being like that, it doesn't create confusion in my life. It actually, I love giving clarity, and it helps them and it helps me. So that's my getaway, what I do and my kids.
That is awesome to hear, because most people say, I like to golf. I like to go fishing. I like to, you know, sit in a boat or something, or go off here and there. And I didn't hear any of those things from you.
Yeah, and it's awesome. If you like that, yeah, and if you like that, you like that. But for me, yeah, that is my golf. That is my going, you know, it really is, you know. I go to the beach I love the beach, by the way, but I love it for a different reason. I love the beach. I go to the beach and I get a place on the beach. I open up the doors, pull out my laptop, and serve people. Because I do like the ocean. It's definitely calming. But, you know, going out and walking on the beach, I know it's great, and I've done it, and I'm not saying I hate it, but if I walk on the beach, I'm probably going to walk with the cell phone jotting down things.
Yeah.
You know, and it is not, and it really is taking me away. It really is. Because I can shut it all down, but, you know, again, I get lifted up from that. If I were to shut down it completely, I would have to go back to it to get energized. Now the kids energize me too, but after the kids, I would have to now, I'm like, man, I need to go and I need to talk to somebody. I need to, you know, help, you know, because that energizes me and it gives me energy.
Yes. So how do you shut your brain down at night? Because you have an energetic brain.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually not that hard because my brain's been running so much. You know, I don't have a problem sleeping and shutting down. And one other thing real quick, because I guess I didn't say this, the gym. I'm a 5-day-a-week person in the gym. And the gym is so refreshing to me, even though when I'm in the gym, I am thinking of, I get more energized, I get more creative. But the gym, I have to put that. So, you know, serving people, working out, and the kids. But yeah, I don't want to leave out the gym because it's very, very refreshing and energizing for me. And which is another thing that I talk to my clients about, because I think the physical part, it's amazing what happens when you get the blood going. And it doesn't have to be the gym, but some type of physical activity, you know, it's really great for you.
Yeah, it is. It's the body, soul, and mind. And
Yes.
you have to, you know, the exercising the body exercises your mind. It brings more blood flow. And then, you know, sometimes like I'll be walking in the morning, and like most mornings, I think I told you, I walk a couple of miles, at least 2.5 miles. And then once in a while, when I have the extra time, I will walk, you know, 4 miles or something. And there's so many creative ideas, and it's a worship time, it's a praying time, it's a, you know, idea time. So I'm refreshed by that, and being, especially here in North Carolina,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just a beautiful, beautiful scenery. So I think we do need that, whether it's the gym. Used to love to go to the gym, but I haven't been since I've been back to North Carolina, because I don't want to wear a mask at the gym.
yes.
So that's been my issue. But yeah, I think that's a great outlet, and you know, does so many great things. So if people want to get in touch with you, if they're interested in you training their company, or training them, doing some coaching, executive leadership coaching for individuals, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, well, there's multiple ways. I'm on all the social media. So if you're on Facebook or Twitter or, you know, wherever, I actually have Jay, the EnterTRAINer. A lot of people get that mixed up because they think I'm saying entertainer. It's Jay the EnterTRAINer, at Jay the EnterTRAINer, and that's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. And also you can go to I have a website, and that is Come On and Train, because one of my songs, Come On and Ride the Train. But my website is comeonandtrain.com. That's the website. And then email is just Jay, J-A-Y, at recordbreakingsales.com.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully I didn't talk your ears off.
Oh my gosh, no, I am energized by being in your presence. So not at all. I just really appreciate you taking time for responding, and just for, you know, the inspiration you've given me just in the couple conversations we've had. So I look forward to more, and just look forward to gleaning from you, and, you know, working together in whatever way we can, you know, going forward. But I'm really, you know, thankful that you took your time today.
Thank you for having me, and a great time to have me back on. Once this Space Jam movie comes out, and I'll have the song in the movie, I got a lot of lessons on that one, boy, what it took to maneuver that one. So I'd love to be back. See, I'm already inviting myself back on your show.
Please do. Please do. We will definitely do that. So, yes. And I just want to tell everybody, thank you so much for being on and watching another episode of Winning Proof Unscripted. If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on winningproof.com. You can email me at winningproof@gmail.com. And I'm on all the social media channels too at Winning Proof. That's mostly, where you can find me. So reach out and I will respond. So thank you for watching, and until next time, until I come back with another episode of Winning Proof Unscripted.